Welcome to ArmBreakdown, the place for latest and greatest updates in the sport. Alright, so first let's start with the latest podcast by East vs West, where this time as a host, instead of it being Ray, they actually chose Devon, which personally I did think it was a good switch up and definitely made this podcast a little bit more spicy. So in this podcast, they did not only have Michael Todd and Georgi talking about their upcoming match at East vs West 21, but also Robert Baxter, who I guess came on this podcast as an extra guest. So whilst Georgi was talking about his future plans and calling out possible opponents, with him mentioning names like Alex Kudecha and Vitaly Letin, Robert actually chimed in and told Georgi that no matter if he wins or loses this match against Michael, his next match might very well be against Ermes Gasparini, who apparently has expressed his interest in Georgi to Robert and wants to face him next. So once again, we might have another match incoming that to me personally seems really interesting, and it could turn out to be one of the main matches for the next East vs West event, which at the moment is rumored to be happening in Vienna, Austria at the end of February. Now, since we are talking about Vienna, Austria and the possible matchups we could have on that card, we might also have a possible match between Devon and Alizhan Muratov, who, as you all know, came out recently with a video talking about his titles and how it's not fair to take them away, even though he hasn't been competing for over a year now, and despite him saying otherwise, has definitely been offered matches from East vs West, which he probably turned down because of the amount of money offered, or maybe simply because he just didn't believe he could win. But anyways, after this statement from Alizhan, Devon actually responded and called him out publicly, saying that he is ready for him on the left arm even as soon as in December. Now, coming back to this podcast where Robert actually mentioned this to Devon, saying that Alizhan is ready to finally come back and wants to have a match in February, with Devon being his main target. Now, even though this all seems great, do keep in mind that Devon during that time period will probably be preparing for his match with Vitaly at the end of April, in which he most likely be surpassing 300 pounds, and for him then suddenly drop to 115 even though it's Alizhan, to me doesn't make much sense. But anyways, let's move on to the next topic, which is actually about a huge arm wrestling event that's happening this weekend on Saturday, where Global Elite Arm Wrestling and MAC has joined forces and put together such an awesome card for this event, which include names like Brad Grundy, Milo Larratt, Alex Toprol, even Cotre, and also Alex Kudecha. Now, I feel like no one is really talking about this event, especially since it's coming up in just a few days, and based off the names that will be competing at this event, for someone who is interested in arm wrestling, this will definitely be a show for you. So if you want to watch this event live, be sure to go to premstream.com/Global Elite Arm Wrestling 2, where you will not only find the pay-per-view but also all the info about this event. And lastly, I also want to mention this post by Dave Chaffee, who yesterday had some sort of a surgery and at the moment is still in the hospital. Now, at the moment, there's not much info on what kind of surgery he had and how serious the situation is, but judging from his yesterday's story, he seems to be in high spirits as the surgery apparently was successful. But anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed some of the updates, and I will see you in the next one.